All right, welcome back to the Dented Podcast. My name is Drew. I'm joined by Josh, Dirk, and Corey. Boys, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good. I can see everybody now. How's it going, Derek?
Pretty good. I still can't see anybody, so but yeah, it's good to be back, ready for another season.
Corey,
How
how
you
you?
doing, Corey?
I'm so happy I'm using video, man. I get to like editing video, not only just audio, like just audio and video now. It's awesome. It's like a content gold mine. I'm telling that to you earlier.
And if you can't see, he's like prepared for this.
Oh
Like
yeah, like
he's
I got
got
the
the sound baffles
soundproofing.
on one side, the jersey. I'm hanging my jerseys for my curtain rod, but like Corey's got it all set up, the jersey in the right angle.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like we also need stand-ins, so our voices come out, but we get much better looking people to be us in this picture. So if anyone wants to be Drew in video,
Email us at thedentedpub.com.
yeah. No one wants to look at this for
Ta
now.
Talent at thedentedpuck.com.
There you go.
You know
Uh,
that's the dot waiting on the next joke.
yeah. So well, let's talk about Canada and the U.S.
I guess we might as well since we're not even sure. Yeah. So
So the first game of Canada US was kind of a blowout. Was it 11 to nothing?
yeah,
Yeah. The second game though, I think really showed you know, I think that every first game is always the roughest, especially when we haven't played together for months since the last time we were together. Um, and then you're expected to compete at a high level, which we do have the evening skate before, which I think definitely helps kind of get the gears rolling again. But it still takes some time to get together and gel again as a team. Um, I didn't personally think that the U.S. played bad, despite what the score says. And I think that the second game definitely proved it, going to overtime. And I mean, again, unfortunately, it was a loss, but it took them to overtime, and it did not look at any. I mean, Josh, maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it didn't look at any point that either team was overpowering the other. It was very even, and I think it was just some calls went against us or for them, and they put it in the end. But I mean, Josh, what do you think? You were there watching with me.
I mean, that game kind of evened it up. It proved that it can go both ways. And like you said, like game three showed that they adjusted to what we did. So I think the new concept might definitely help us out now that we've had some training with it, as we'll talk about. But it definitely showed that the teams are a lot more evenly matched than what people, than what is, the general understanding, the general thought process. But it really it showed up. And especially after game one, the games were a lot different after game one. Like you said, it's hard to put it together that first game, but it definitely turned into a real solid series after that.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, Dirk, how did it feel to you? Because I've been as a cliff note, my high school hockey team won one game in the 2.5 years that I was at Evanston. One game
ugh,
in the playoffs.
that's
We
rough.
did knock out a team that beat us three times that season, but we only won one game. So I've definitely been on those teams where you're just getting spanked, 7 to nothing,
Yeah.
11 to nothing,
Oh
11.
yeah,
Like it sucks, but did it feel different on your end? Like, did it feel like we're making advancements?
Game one felt rough. I won't lie. Like it's you know every couple of seconds I'm like, what happened? And then the puck's coming back to center ice, and you're like, oh, I guess they scored again. And it's just after a while it just starts to wane on you.
Yeah,
But game two was a whole different. It was the most one of the most intense games I ever played in. Like it was very tight. I felt like there were times where we actually had the Canadians on their heels. I think we caught them by surprise, and we would just, I think they were still an amazing team. You can't take away from that. But like I think for brief moments, we had them scrambling to try and to get it out of their zone and to get any footing in our zone. So.
yeah,
Um, but I think we're steadily making strides. I think both teams are improving. So we just got to try and keep up with them at their pace. So
Yeah. Well, and I want to put out there too, I recently completely read the blind hockey rules, and I didn't know that technically there's supposed to be no cheering, no noise during play.
Really?
Crowd is not supposed to be involved in any way.
Yeah,
So,
we've heard
Whoa.
that, but
yeah.
that's not the first time we've heard that. We've heard that a bunch of times.
Well, yeah,
We
but
just
I
didn't
mean,
know it was official blind
yeah,
hockey
it is an
rules.
official rule. So that I think is really interesting because you do have the situations like game one in Toronto, which was really cool to have, what was it, like 1,400 grade school kids come and watch the game.
Yeah,
Something
it was a
like
lot. It
that.
was a lot of people. It was awesome.
Yeah, they bust in a bunch of kids, and the noise was so loud.
in
In
in game one,
in a
that was
good
Yeah,
game
way,
one,
right?
right?
yeah.
But like not in like a
In some
distracting
ways,
way.
but
No, I
it
think
was no, it was definitely a distraction.
yeah,
Oh,
because we're listening for the puck, we're listening for the skates, we're listening for our teammates' voices, like we're
oh,
listening for
yeah, that's
us.
true.
So I think the boards probably protect you a little bit, but it makes a sound come in this weird way over the top. And I'm sure that was disorienting for guys like Dirk or KB even. I'm sure it was disoriented because there's so much going on.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
And I could be wrong. Kevin Brown is a bat, so maybe he was fine. Maybe it actually helped him because there was more sound bouncing off, so he got those sonar waves a little bit better. But okay, I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to play in that game, but I think it would be really difficult, even with my vision, to really process everything that's going on. Um, and then unfortunately they ended up losing the third game too. But I think that the U.S. team definitely made some strides during that tournament, and I think that coming up here we're going to see more strides have been made. So we'll get to that though. So that was Canada. Josh, you and I were in the open division. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I had a really good team. I played with Hillary Scanlon, who is incredible and a B1. I feel like her and KB have just like bat senses. Um, but my my team won all of our games, and then we lost at the very end to the team.
Liam and
Yeah,
the girls team. Yep.
yeah, the Banterini sisters, which we beat them the first time, and I was like, "Oh, we got this." And then that Liam kid he's like, "Well, I got to score now," and um, but it was cool. I mean, I think it's definitely a different level of competition that we're used to here in the United States. Obviously, a larger pool to pull from. But what did you think about playing in we'll call it the standard tournament up in Toronto?
Well, I think here's the difference is that we both grew up playing hockey and we both played pretty high level hockey, regardless of like the level, what level team we were on. We played high level hockey. So having four other players, like I've said all the time, I'm the best fifth player on any line. Like, please make me the fifth player on the line. Like where I don't have to carry the puck around and I can be an option and I can help out, whether I'm the third forward or the second defenseman. Um, but it was awesome to have to not be in a teaching role, to kind of be able to just, even though I was told by I had the coach and player tandem, except the player was the dad and the coaches were the sons, which is the greatest thing ever. Um and Joe is amazing. um but the boys were like, "Hey, do you mind like helping us out, like get this new kid used to the level?" And I mean, like, it was different because you kind of knew he had that growing up, and he's already had it, and he just kind of needed a little bit of a safety blanket there. But it was different than if I was doing that with one of our players, where you really have to give a lot of coaching to, and it was easy. um we had Easton on our team, which was fun. It's always fun playing with Easton. Then Easton left, and this is the funniest story. So Easton leaves, and then they move up one of the kids that was lighting up the youth in a youth and children's division. And he comes in, sits next to me, and I was like, I introduced myself, and he's like, "Oh, you play for the U.S.?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I do." but I'm a healthy scratch. And I was like, I was like, I'm like, you find that you just came from you're the one that brought up, right? Yeah. He's like, I was like, how was it? He goes, it was pretty easy, wasn't it? And you kind of see him crack a smile. He wants to be humble. I'm like, dude, it's cool. I'm like, that's why he brought you up. I was like, I assume you play sighted, right? And he goes, yeah. I was like, he's like, I'm the captain of my AA team. And I was like, dude, don't worry, you'll be fine. This kid without a beat he probably had 3 points in that game. But like this is just it's awesome because this is what we're doing this for, is that in 5, 6, 10 years, we're gonna be deep enough and teaching these kids that when we get these kids and they're 15, 16, they'll have been with us and have been playing sighted for 5 or 6 years. And we'll have that kind of talent in the hockeys that they can step in. So it's refreshing to see that that's how blind hockey is growing. So it was awesome playing there because it's guys at our level. And it's a lot of guys at our level, which is something we just don't have in the US. And I mean, it's awesome to see how they do things too, because it's where we aim to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that was Canada. I mean, again, it was my first time playing up there. I thought it was a really cool experience. And yeah, we'll see where we end up next March. But after that, the week after that was the uh, Disabled Festival in St. Louis, which I had the flu and was basically dead. So Josh, I think you were the only one at the event. How did it go? How was it to see everyone together again?
It was awesome. I mean, like we talk about it part of what we do in the foundation is to drive funding so that more people can attend events. When we have events like this back to back, we lose a lot of our truly elite players. Um, but it also gave an opportunity for a lot of our younger and newer players to step up and have some experience. We were able to fully integrate the new Minnesota group and all the Columbus group into our events, into Blue Division, into White Division. We had some of the Columbus guys playing the Dog Nation game, which was awesome. So I mean, it was an overall success for everybody. Um, you on the same ice. You had guys, Shram, myself, Siska. Was Max there? I think Max was there too. That's right. Yeah, because I had to stop Max and Aiden on their fourth 2-on-1 against White Division players. There's your shout out, Max. Um, but I mean, on the same ice as our really new White Division players, and then all of us hopping on and playing with Blue and teaching Blue. So I mean, it was an awesome event that I think sets a precedent for really kind of how we do things going forward, especially now that we're kind of getting our own events and can do things how we really feel should be done. So it was an awesome event, even though they had no idea where the blind hockey rep was. Uh,
Yeah,
and I had to inform him. Will you? And I'm not gonna. I really wanted to use my coined phrase for for the sickness we all got, but we'll save that one for off camera.
yeah. So we got through the Disabled Fest, which was awesome. We got some good feedback about that. Uh, and then it was the Hendrickson next, right, in June.
Yeah.
So Dirk and Josh, I did not attend Hendrickson this year, but I know from being there previously that it's an amazing event. How did it go? What did you guys think? Did it get bigger and better? Is it about the same? I mean, again, it was a fantastic event to begin with, so there's not necessarily a large ceiling to hit, but how was it this year?
It's always an amazing event. It's one of my favorites. I've only missed one of them last year because of foot surgery, but I've been to all the other ones. But they've always been amazing. They're a great group of guys, and they really care about our sport, and they really do everything they can to try and help us have a good weekend and promote our sport and get it to where it needs to be. So, and it was great to get everybody together and get on the ice and work on some things. So, I thought it was a great camp.
Nice. Josh, what
Josh,
about
what'd you think?
No, it was, and I actually really liked it because we infused so much new talent into that camp, and we went kind of deep into our teenagers to really start getting them into how we do things and the
Yeah,
expectations and the level of play because their skill levels there.
yeah,
Some of them just need to develop and develop physically, develop mentally. Um, but it was
yeah.
awesome
And even
having
if
that. Go ahead, dude.
I was gonna say, and even if the teenagers don't make it this year, they're all gonna get on the team. It's just a matter of when. You know what I mean? And
Oh
coming to
yeah,
camp now helps
absolutely.
them to get used to the process early. They have advantage above us because they get to grow up into this, where we've had to kind of some growing pains trying to figure out how to develop our sport. But they're going to be well into it before once they're old enough, they're going to be as well planned out and well organized.
And Hendy's always an awesome event from top to bottom. I mean, shout out to the Hendrickson family and the foundation. I mean, their commitment to blind hockey, and now we're seeing their commitment at the local level too. They're really trying to help them out and grow that there too. So I mean, we're really starting to see how our partners in this sport are coming into shape. And Hendrickson's always been an amazing partner, and that event's always great for us. It's such a great training event. Um, God, what was next after that?
St.
Uh,
Louis Dog Bowl.
no.
Yeah.
Um, when did we go? Well, technically it was Colorado Dog Bowl, and Shram and
Oh,
represented us very well there, as they always do. But we obviously were not able to make it this year. Didn't we do filming?
Well, I mean, filming number one was early May. I
Okay,
mean, it was
beforehand.
we kind of sandwiched Hendy.
Yeah.
Um, filming number one. So Dirk, why don't you take this one away since you are the quote unquote talent?
oh, all right. Well, I guess in case anyone who doesn't, probably anyone who's just watching this doesn't have any idea what we're talking about. Um, a couple of guys from New York, Jason and Devin, are making documentary about blind hockey, and they're centering it around me and people within the blind hockey community. And so we started filming. I've been making trips to New Jersey and then sneaking down into New York to do some filming. And our first one was it Newark, right? Josh, was it right in Newark?
The first one was
Right
at
near.
McKay and Englewood.
Oh, okay,
The second one was in Newark.
okay. Where did we hear the gunshots? That was the first one, right?
That was the first one. Those were the gunshots and the geese. Yeah, that was Englewood.
That
Shout
that
out
was
to
a
Englewood.
crazy, yeah,
On
yeah.
that first trip, though, we had the best burgers that have made me crave ones from my grandparents' hometown ever since. Nothing is correct. Like, we've tried multiple burger places, and I cannot get the satisfaction of those stupid sliders in New Jersey.
We are
I
not
know
getting
those things were the
sponsored by
bomb.
White Manna.
I,
Even though it was funny because one of my new billets, he lives in the Philly area, so he played for the Avs last year, and they would drive. Dad would drive him up for practice and drive back, and he's like, yeah. So like half the time, my dad would just go pick up White Manna and eat on the way home. So at one point, Kira went for a hair appointment in Hackensack. I was like, just do it, and she came back with like 30, and we punished
uh,
all 30. I'm like,
Oh,
guys,
God
you have
love
to
her.
understand though, like you have to think that you have practice in 3 hours.
worth
Oh
it.
yeah, like the
Yeah.
cheese, the
Where the
loaded tater tots that I had before that one game, right?
ooh,
We'll,
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get to
that was
that. We'll
Oh
bad
get to that.
choice.
kind of a bad decision.
We'll get to
So
that. We'll get to that.
yeah, so that's so our so basically we're in the middle of filming and beginning of post production on a documentary that should really shine a light on what we do as the Dented Puck, as well as a lot of struggles that our peers have trying to make the commitment to blind hockey, as well as keep themselves financially and physically able, fit, and mentally stable. Because it's a rough one. It's a long road. So hopefully it's on its way. Um, that we spent a lot of time in the last 5 or 6 months trying to put this out. So it's on its way. If you've been hearing about it, that is kind of the next step. And we hope to make more things public after this. Um, But after that was Corey's tater tot incident.
First off, after that was the NHL draft.
No, we're getting Corey's tater tot incident is now our new band name.
Oh shit.
All right, Corey's tater.
All right, go ahead. Let Drew can do his announcement.
Brian Bedard, baby. Brian Bedard? That's a goalie. That's a different guy. Connor Bedard.
That's a Tays jersey.
God, we are old.
So wait, so Chicago gave him the C already?
What?
This is my boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
We all know it's a Tays jersey.
This is in memorandum. I'm still mourning Mr. Taves no longer being a part of the Blackhawks. Ugh, hate it. It's like when Madonna went to the Red Wings. What is that?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Or that jersey with a 30 on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that we'll talk about the NHL more, but I was one of those guys that didn't necessarily want Chicago to get Bedard.
Whoa, what?
It pushes the timeline for a rebuild so much further, so much faster. And I don't want it to be like an Oilers situation where, you know, they have Connor McDavid, arguably the best hockey player in the NHL right now, and his first, 4 or 5 years were with a very mediocre team around him. And I feel like that's what we're going to get with Connor Bedard. I mean, hate him or love him, Corey Perry is that guy that will stick up for anybody on your team. Nick Foligno, I loved on the Leafs. He was really good on the Bruins. And I mean, we got Taylor Hall, which again, love him or hate him.
Yeah.
He should, but
I liked him.
But he should provide some more offense. I just get worried that we're going to push Bedard like we pushed Doc to be the number one center right out of the gate. And he's a lot smaller than Kirby Doc, too. So, I don't know. There's a lot of ifs on his part. And I think that if you handle his development poorly, that you've ruined, arguably one of the greatest players to play.
I don't think he's ruinable. Like look at McDavid. I think he's got a skill set that's so all over the place that he needs a little bit of NHL experience. Look at how bad Hughes was his first year. And Hughes wasn't heralded anywhere near some of the other ones are. I agree though. But he's also a destination player. Like give him a year and let him start shining through in February, March. And then they can snag a couple of veterans and still have that early draft pick to get somebody with him. So yeah. I
think it's like New Jersey and Edmonton and Toronto. They got Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, Jack Hughes, even New York to a lesser extent with Lafreniere. There's just I feel like with social media and how connected all of these organizations are now, there's so many more expectations placed upon these 18-year-old kids. Like they had to wait to sign Bedard until he turned 18. He got drafted and had to wait longer than I think any other top 10 draft pick because he was only 17. So and people are already calling him the next McDavid. Like, how would you feel if you were that player? Like, you want to be your own guy, but there's always going to be comparisons, and you're compared to McDavid and Crosby right out of the gate.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing: this isn't new for him. He's been the kid since 15. Like, so. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with McDavid, right? It was the same with Sid. I know that. Yeah. Like coming up, you knew who he was. You knew he was the golden ticket. And I mean, and you got him. I mean, like that's why the joke is you showed the jersey. And I mean, there's so much talent bouncing around the NHL right now. You guys did a good job of getting rid of some of the players. What'd you get back for Kane?
We didn't get crap back for Kane.
Really?
Yeah, because he held out so long, and he had the no move clause, so he got to pick where he went. So
yeah, that's right.
The Rangers gave us, and we have Seth Jones signed to like a $9.5 million contract forever.
Yeah, but I mean, 9.5 doesn't kill you when it's only one.
Yeah,
When you have four is when it kills you.
I don't know anything about that. The Leafs. The Leafs are
No,
doing.
no, no, yeah, I wasn't. It was like, it wasn't specifically going after the Leafs. It was
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
arbitrarily
I
saying.
get it. You're all against me. I understand. Whatever. Uh,
I'm pretty sure the Devils are very close to that, except
Hey, I
Fitzgerald
mean,
knows how to negotiate.
they got past the first round.
that's not helpful, man.
What? Isn't that not an accomplishment?
Corey, do you
Uh,
have do you have an update from what's happened to you over the summer,
no,
hockey related?
Corey didn't have any teams that he was rooting for the whole season, nor did he say at the beginning that he thought it was going to be a good year for any specific team that may or may not wear gold.
I
So
definitely didn't say anything about a certain Aiden Hill or who was the other Brett Howden. I said that during the preseason. Those
nope.
two players specifically were going to be studs. Especially another guy, Paul Cotter. That's a whole other young guy, or I don't know if he's a young guy. He's from the Henderson Silver Knights, but it's like I knew those three plus Barbashev, who we re-signed as well. I think. I mean, who is going to stop us? Who? Name
I
one
don't
team.
even know.
The
I don't
only
even know
team.
who you're talking about.
The only team that was able to beat. Well, yeah, they're that high of a tier. You don't even need to say their name.
The Dallas Stars?
No.
We give him a chance to talk trash about the Stanley Cup, and he takes it into talking trash about 23-24. Working on out of bounds here, Corey. Corey's getting kicked off the only episode he's allowed on.
Yep.
Yeah, the one time I'm on camera.
Good run.
I mean,
Do you think they're going to maintain? They lost a lot of pieces.
they did.
Right.
They lost Nolan Patrick, Jonathan Quick, Laurent Brossois, Phil Kessel, Riley Smith.
Okay, but two of those players didn't even play the entire playoffs that you just mentioned, and Phil Kessel and Jonathan Quick.
Well, yeah, but they were here in spirit. That's why we won. We had 4 goalies.
You had to have 4 goalies.
Yeah.
You guys have the worst goalie luck in the entire NHL.
Worst, we found a gem on the top of a
I'm
hill.
saying with injury.
No.
Oh,
You
oh,
guys
yeah,
have
yeah,
more
yeah.
starting goalies than
Oh my
any
God, LT, Logan Thompson, he got hurt. Laurent Brossois, he got hurt. Jonathan Quick just got hurt breathing, probably. But and then Aiden Hill, obviously, the stud that the stud that he is. But I think the only team that came close to putting up with the Knights was the Oilers. That's the only team. Florida was a skeleton by the time they made it to the Stanley Cup. Boston killed them. Like the majority of the injuries that Florida had, it came from the Boston series. So no, yeah,
Sure it
yeah,
did.
Dirk's smiling down there. But
Yeah. All I cared about when they lost, I'm like, as long as Florida doesn't make it all the way.
Yeah, pretty close, Derek.
I mean, they did, but they were
No.
just like
I
crawling.
did say I hope they make it to the finals just to lose, because that'll hurt more than getting knocked out in the next round.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
I
I'm
think
not bitter.
we have a good chance of going back to back. Although I don't know. I can't think of any other team that would come close. Probably the only team I could think of is the Oilers. It's either the Knights or the Oilers that are winning the next, or New Jersey.
Well, some respect. I was like, I hope he's staying in the Western Conference over there, because
I'm playing favorites with Josh over here.
What do you guys think about the new captain of the Bruins?
There isn't
I mean-
one, Dirk.
You could pick like one
Oh,
of
yeah.
9 other teams, and Drew would be happy. So
4.
So it's this. So, but okay. I'm not like your situation's valid. It's the Stars, Leafs, Hawks, Ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all got your reasons. I don't have mine.
I think that Vegas has a good chance to go far in the playoffs again. It's just so difficult to do that back to back in a salary cap era.
Yeah, and we're
I mean,
all.
look at Colorado.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, well, Colorado, I think is a situation where like their entire team was in the hospital at one point or another, the whole during the season. Like,
Yeah.
if they weren't injured, I think it would have been Colorado versus Vegas in the Western Conference Finals,
Yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Mm, I still think it would have been Dallas.
Of course you do.
Well, I
Of course
think
you
some of
do.
those
No,
games,
but Dallas had a shot to be out there too. But I mean, Colorado was just derailed by injuries all year.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, and look at Tampa then. They did go back to back, but then back to
but
back to
they're in
back.
cap hell right now. Like they are so far over. I mean,
Vegas was too.
Well, that's because
Vegas
what's his
still
name
is.
finally isn't hurt.
We're still 3 point something million dollars over still.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think they have a good chance to do really well this season, but back to backs, and that's not even naysaying Vegas's talent. I just think
No,
it's so hard to do
Well,
now.
I
I
agree,
mean,
100%.
as a Devils fan, it's like you guys are defense first. You play that hard nosed hockey. It's like that '90s Devils hockey.
Hmm.
The Devils were always a playoff team because that's how you get to the playoffs is playing that type of hockey. And I mean, and always made it deep in the playoffs because that's the type of hockey you play. But because it's not based on scoring, when it's one goal games go both ways very easily. So I like how many one goal games did you guys win? And overtime games, a ton, right?
Yeah.
Corey?
I think. Oh, I thought you were talking to Drew.
No. But the Knights, like
Oh yeah,
that,
I
just
mean
the way you guys play, like
every
it's a
opportunity.
defensive style where you try to shut the other team down. So
Well,
when you
there's also another thing. I don't know if you guys noticed during the Florida series, and if you look at the size difference, like our smallest guy is my height. Like our smallest guy, I swear, is like 5'11", 6 foot. And it's like during the final, Florida was trying to play that chippy style of hockey that they've been playing all series in the Eastern Conference. But something that Mark Stone said, just ignore it, boys. Ignore it. Keep your head down. Keep playing. Like they just ignored all of the crap that Florida was just throwing at them, and they just stuck to their game. I mean, it also didn't help that Florida lost. I mean, I can't remember who did it. I think it was Kolasar or somebody else who was responsible for breaking Kachuk's sternum, but that hit them hard as well. And on top of all of that, Vegas was ready to go 7 games. There was no way Florida would have gone 7 games without losing the majority of their roster to injuries. I couldn't see it.
Well, we will see what happens in this upcoming season.
So real quick, early predictions. I say the Knights.
of course you do.
Yeah.
I think we got that picture.
Bruins. They want revenge.
I'm gonna go with the Rangers.
Okay.
Our new
Um,
captain will lead us all the way.
I'm gonna go Buffalo.
Oh, that's interesting. Cause you know what? That's also another
I'm
team.
obviously not going with the Rangers, but but Buffalo's not a bad one.
We'll see.
I just don't know. Here's the thing: is that I think that Devils playoffs, even if the Devils lost to the Rangers last year, it was valuable. You know how important getting that first playoff, taste as a team is. It's tough to get through the playoffs as a rookie team. That's the only thing I think. But
Unless you're the Vegas
Buffalo's
Golden
right
Knights.
there. It's like it's like the Stars. The Stars were right there and got in. The Devils were right there and got in, and the Buffalo's ready to hit that upper echelon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
thank the
okay.
Knights for that. We gave them Peyton Krebs and Alex Tuck.
I'm more interested in Rasmus Dahlin and Tage Thompson.
Who's that other guy they drafted? Owen Power.
Yeah,
I'm excited to
He's
watch. I'm
smooth.
excited to watch him more.
Yeah. All right, since I've derailed this entire talk about the summer, let's talk about Dog Bowl. We actually had a majority blind team on the ice this time. I think we only had 2 sighted players, Danielle and Corey. But that was a first for us. Usually we have about 4 or 5 sighted guys with us.
I mean, yeah, it's a good part of the roster and a good part of every line. I mean, at no point maybe very infrequently were Corey and Danielle on at the same time. I mean, There were times it was all five blind players on the ice.
Yeah, yeah. And it was really cool. We had Emily, Dirk's wife, out there with us. We also had Keith Haley, Hollywood, Sietska, Derek Beck, Dan Schramm, Josh, myself, Josh Fields, and Liam McCoy. That was his first time with us, right? Well, no, he played at the Johnny O, didn't he?
Yeah, Liam's. I think
But
Liam's played on everything that Liam played at
St.
Johnny O,
Louis.
but Liam's also done the other events that we've had in St. Louis with them also. So
Yeah. Um, So it was just a good time. I mean, I think that we had a really good group of guys and gals. We did not win, unfortunately, but the whole point of us being at Dog Bowl is promoting blind hockey throughout the hockey community. In St. Louis, Dog Nation always does a really good job of making sure that we're, taken care of, and most of the teams are also willing to play with our puck, which I think was a really good experience for them because and Dirk, maybe you can attest to this. I feel like when we play with the little puck, we can still know where we're supposed to be, but we don't know where the puck is. So it's harder for us to pick up on the
Yeah,
play. As soon as you introduce our puck to it, then they're like, oh, you guys are hockey players.
yeah. There was that one game they dropped the puck, came right down and scored a goal, and I'm like, what's going? Oh, I guess I scored. And then they're like, yeah,
oh
we'll
no,
use your.
that was me.
And that
That was
was the
me.
game.
That
That
was
was the
my.
game that we
Well,
almost
he
tied
went
it up
back
at
to
the end or
Dirk
whatever.
and felt bad, and it wasn't because I was blind. It's because I suck and it was my Ole defense. Like I thought I had him, and I'm like, oh, there you go. Oh that's a goal.
But
Swap
they
that
all
pucker
said that
out
as
real
soon as you
quick.
drop the puck, man, like. And what's cool is they filmed it too because the camera crew was there filming, so they actually got to see the difference of how we all play the game. Like we're all timid and we're all like skating around, like "Where's the puck?" You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden we get the metal puck out there, and it's like we're all like sharks circling something that's making all kinds of noise in the water, and we're honing in on it.
Yeah,
Like it's a whole different, totally different game for all of us.
yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, it was just a good time. I
And
mean,
the thing, and,
go on.
I was gonna say, and it was great because those guys they would come in the locker room and tell us they enjoyed playing us. It was the most fun they've had all weekend, and
Oh yeah,
they
that
think
was
that
really
it's great
cool.
what we're doing. So like, yeah, so what we're doing is it's getting to people, and it's the word spreading. So we're doing our job, a tournament at a time. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it's good to get us together playing more. Giving any of
yeah,
our guys more opportunity to get out there is always a good time. Um, but yeah, we did St. Louis, which I feel like was a whirlwind trip. We were in Friday, out Sunday, and just like boom, done. Um,
yeah.
After that, we went
And we
to
got to
Nashville,
yeah.
which was a good time. Let's talk about Nashville, but let's not talk in detail about Nashville, about what we're
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
on the
no,
ice and things like that, because I
yeah,
do,
yeah, no. I understand lines. And,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Just
Um,
the general.
but we did. I feel like this was a different training camp than Buffalo, which is the only uh, bar that I have to gauge it against. Um, I thought the drills were pretty good, though. I thought we'd worked on some things that we needed to work on. Doing some specific drills for your play type and position were really good, and I felt like the team really seemed to gel as a unit. Maybe there were some things that didn't work out on the ice for us, but I think as a community we really came together as a group, and there was a lot of camaraderie, which I think is another part to making a successful hockey team. Um, how did you
Yeah,
guys feel about Nashville and everything we did there?
I'm
I
gonna
thought it
let
was great. I
Dirk.
think we changed things. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna let you go on this one, Mister All Star.
Well, no, I was just gonna say that over the years, the camps we kind of did similar things over and over, and weren't getting any different results. And now started changing our systems up, and I think that obviously we can't go into details about those systems, but like just the process is evolving and getting better with time.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a visitor.
I mean, and we're starting to install that next level type of stuff. And I mean, Dirk was humble, but both Drew and I know Dirk had an amazing camp. Probably out of anybody over Dirk had an absolutely amazing camp. Was it 1 and 2, Dirk, or 2 and 1?
I had two assists and 1 goal.
Nice, yeah. So 1 and 2, nice, nice. Yeah, it was a great time. I mean, Ford Ice, that was a nice facility too. Nice facility. We had space.
Yeah, no, it really
nice,
was.
nice ice. Nice locker rooms. I mean, they were great. I mean, everything about Nashville was awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, who knew that the one mismarked jersey at the Predators home rink store was going to be found by blind people?
Yeah.
What?
TJ, we went to TJ, myself, Josh, Dan Schramm. We went
Yeah, it
down
was Dan.
to
Yeah.
Bridgestone, the Preds facility,
Yeah.
to go to the team store, and we're looking at jerseys, and TJ finds one that he likes, and it's marked like $200 or something like that.
And everything else was like $295. This was like
Yeah.
$199. Everything else was like $295.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that St. Louis store where everything is like $300 because it's the St.
Yeah.
Louis Blues.
Yeah.
So he managed to find the one unicorn out of them that was marked $100 less, and they had to give it to him because it was marked that way. But yeah, the complete blind guy, finds the cheapest jersey in the entire place.
So
That's
he
incredible.
grabs it, he shows it to me, and I'm comparing prices, and I go, Drew, what's the difference in these jerseys? And he's like, I don't know why. I'm like, because there's $100 difference here.
Yeah, no.
And that's how TJ learned the customer's always right. And it was funny because I was like, I'm glad you're doing this because I didn't want to have to do this the hard way. And I smiled, and she was like, oh no, I would have given it to you anyway.
Yeah, but Nashville was a good experience. You know, again, it was one of those learning experiences, and also, team building, which is always good. But that was the summer, boys.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Now
forgot.
we're-
hockey-filled summer, man.
Forgot to mention the damn tater tot incident I had.
Oh, yeah, well, good.
Oh yes.
So going back to St. Louis, I rented a Ford F-150 to drive everybody like to and from the airport, and thankfully, the St. Louis facility is like right there, or like maybe 10 minutes away from the airport itself. So, that was nice. But doing that for maybe 8 to 9 hours, I hadn't eaten anything all day, and I'm like, oh shoot, we have to play a game in 30 minutes. So I run over to the bar and grab loaded tater tots with, however, I don't know what kind of cheese.
Sour cream, cheese,
Sour
bacon
cream,
bits, all
cheese,
kinds.
jalapenos, bacon bits, everything like unholy to an athlete's system before go out.
Oh, so good.
I mean, it tasted amazing, I'll tell you that. But like 5 minutes into the game, I wanted to die. 5 minutes in, I'm sitting there like clenching my cheeks. I am just dying. Okay, like it was the worst playing experience for me. Like like I was trying at St. Louis, it was a great event. Gateway Dog Bowl, Dented puck. We're playing with a blind puck. I'm just sitting there in my own little world, trying my hardest just to hide the pain that I'm in. Just cramping. It was just miserable. Never will I have loaded tater tots before a game ever again.
Yeah, how did you expect that to go?
Not like that. I thought I was just gonna be like
You thought
fine.
that, like, grease and squeezy cheese was going to be the best fuel for hockey in 30 minutes?
It was either that or an apple juice.
I'm right now going over emo lyrics with Grease and Squeezy Cheese, the first song by Corey's Tater Tot.
Man, I would have eaten like a protein bar and some Gatorade or something.
That little store was closed. That little
Bro.
like when you walk into the building, you look go to the right, and then there's like a little convenience store that was closed.
It wasn't even a half hour though. We were getting on the ice when you were finishing eating.
Well, how
It was
about
hot.
Even better.
It was hot.
It was piping hot, man.
We also have the Dunkin' Donuts detour.
Oh, for fuck.
Oh yeah, we went to the
yeah.
wrong Dunkin' Donuts, 20 minutes away from the rink.
Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Where the Dunkin' Donuts that so it's like well, who was it? It was me, Dirk.
It was half of the team.
Oh
There were
yeah.
only
And
five of
all
us
of
Yeah,
our
and all the
equipment.
gear.
And all of the
And
gear.
all the
Oh
gear.
my god. So we before the game we decided to go to Dunkin' Donuts, and I put in Dunkin' Donuts assuming that it would just go to the closest one, which is the one near the rink. No, it sends us 20 minutes in the other direction. We show up
Hey.
with the gear. The referees and the other team are on the ice.
Hey, they're sending
And
us on
five
a
of us.
detour, and I'm like, I assume he's using like Google Maps. This shouldn't be an issue. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Josh
yeah.
calls me Dick Dice. He's like, you don't have time to sit down and eat breakfast. I'm like, dude, we just got to Dunkin' Donuts. I said, and we're at the wrong one, and we're like 20 minutes away.
Oh my heart sank when I realized that. I'm like, dude, just why?
And then it was the worst Dunkin' Donuts ever. They only had one.
Oh yeah, they messed up the
plain.
order as well.
They didn't do any frozen coffees. They didn't.
Poor Liam
Donuts.
didn't have anything.
Saying you're just gonna need a feeding tube, Corey, from now on whenever you come to these events.
The feeding. Well, yeah. Or I could
Yeah.
just
Corey
be
gets 4 crackers and a slice of cheese.
like, yeah. I'll eat like I'll eat like a crumb off the ground.
We're gonna pack you a school lunch to take with you when you're driving.
No,
Peanut butter jelly sandwich.
I'll have
little bag of
Lunchables on the bench.
chips.
There
you go. Don't forget a sippy cup.
Yep.
Yeah, we have some awesome guests coming up too. And I mean we have some awesome events coming up. Do you want to talk about the events, Drew, or you kind of want to save that for the next episode?
Well, we can save it for the next episode, but we do have some events coming up through national events and some Dented Puck events and some other regional stuff going on. So I think this is going to be a jam-packed season coming up. Like we said, we've got some really good guests coming on, and I think it's just going to be good to get back into gear and start doing more of this again. We've gotten some requests from our friends in the community for when is it coming back, so here we are. As always, our first one is a little bit disjointed, but we'll be better as we move on through the season. But yeah.
But before we leave, one of the programs that the foundation's been working with is a program called Raise Right. It's gift card fundraising. They do bonuses, and the charity will get whatever percentage you buy it at is the percent of your purchase that will go back to the charity. We will make sure the link to join is in this episode's profile. Please do it. If you are a gift card person, you're just looking for an easy way to help. It is a small fee on the credit card for you to buy the gift card. But the entire percentage goes back to the charity, and blind hockey could definitely use your support. So if you're definitely interested, please feel free to reach out to either Drew or I, Drew at thedentedpuck.com or Josh at thedentedpuck.com, and we can help you out. If not, through this link, you can easily sign up, and every dollar you earn for us help us out. Thank you.
All right, that's going to be it for this episode. We will be coming back with our first guest in the next one, and our first guest is going to be Mark DeMontes from Canada. So looking forward to getting him on the show and picking his brain a little bit, and we'll see you then.